My colleague Akshay Dongre is now joining me on the story. Akshay, one of the things that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is known for is to have very personal and very warm relationships, with the global leaders. We are seeing a very warm handshake between the President of Egypt, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Not just the President, in fact, the senior members of the cabinet also met Prime Minister Narendra Modi. A lot of MOUs, from what we are hearing at the moment, have been signed between India and Egypt in the two-day visit that the Prime Minister has. This is the first official visit of Prime Minister Modi to Egypt.
Well, exactly. And it's been over 26 years that an Indian Prime Minister visited the country in the Middle East. The last Prime Minister was, I think, al-hakim who went in the 90s. So, yes, this becomes a very important visit, but in these past 26 years, we have seen repeated visits of Egyptian Prime Ministers and Presidents into India. In fact, as we were speaking about the Republic Day parade this year, the leader of Egypt was here. As far as the other leaders are concerned, they have consistently visited India. But this visit is of another prime importance, and that is because of defense acquisition that has been taking place between Egypt and India. In fact, there are several plans to export Indian-made defense requirements for Egypt. In fact, we saw that even for the export of stages that we have built indigenously, one of the potential market for this fighter jet was Egypt. So if Prime Minister's visit to Egypt strengthens that, then it will make it a big leap for India as far as our defense exports are concerned. And in fact, Egypt can be one of the potent markets for the stages that has been built by HAL and DRDO. So besides stages, there are a lot of trade MOUs that have been signed. There are defense MOUs that have also been signed between the two leaders. And as far as the other events of Prime Minister is concerned, it was for a clear connect with the Indians who are living in Egypt. Not just in Egypt, we also saw the similar kind of approach of Prime Minister where he met a lot of Indians in the US. In his earlier visits, wherever he goes, he makes sure that he meets the Indian diaspora during the visit. So all of these things make it extremely important for the Prime Minister to highlight as far as the world scenario is concerned. We have a lot of challenges as far as our outreach to Africa, to Middle East is concerned, and that is why Prime Minister Narendra Modi is now increasingly engaging with the global South leaders, most of them on bilateral visits, trilateral visits, and this time we saw how President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi himself went to the airport to welcome the Prime Minister. He was also in India for the 26th January Republic Day parade. So the relations are deepening, and while we have traditionally seen that European nations have been, the heads of European nations have been usually the chief guests at state events like the 26th January parade, but now what we are seeing is a shift in that policy as well, because most of the time the Prime Minister focuses either on the ASEAN countries or in the Middle East. We have seen the leaders of UAE as well attending the 26th January parade. So all of these are in a way Prime Ministers' approach towards
Akshay, we have new
South.
visuals coming in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the President of Egypt sitting on one side. Signing of documents taking place, a very firm handshake by both the leaders, and an exchange of files also now taking place. So a lot of MOUs have been signed. This is the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister to Egypt in 26 years. Seems like from now on, this will be, a turning point in India-Egypt relationship.
बेहद महत्वपूर्ण ये सम्मान आप देख सकते हैं.
Have always been strong. In fact, from the very beginning, the relations have been strong. Gamal Abdel Nasser, when he was the president, he was not just close to the Indian first Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, but he also was very close to our first President, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. In fact, there is a street in Egypt that is named after Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and after other leaders as well. So the relationships have been strong. Egypt has been a very strong ally in that part of the world when we talk about the Middle East as well as the North African countries, the entire region of Middle East. While we have been strengthening our relations with Israel, on one hand, its traditional opponent Egypt is also a friend, and that has been exemplified in the policy of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That on one hand he is friendly with Russia, importing oil with Russia from Russia. He is also going and addressing the Senate of the United States of America. So that has been one of the biggest victory for the Prime Minister in his foreign policy. And if you see anywhere, Prime Minister has made friends on both the sides. While he met the Ukrainian president during the G20, the G7 summit, he also has been talking to President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin. So this has been one of the biggest victory, and in fact a textbook example of how Prime Minister Narendra Modi's foreign policy has been widely accepted all over the world. And he has been able to strike balance between opposing factions as well. So while we have very good relations with Israel now, we also have very good relations with Egypt. We have good relations with Saudi Arabia, with United Arab Emirates, and all of these countries. So these all have been very significant in moving India ahead as far as the foreign policies are concerned. Trade sector is concerned. Indians living in Egypt will find it very easy to start businesses. They have been great arm of Indians who have been helpful as far as generation of foreign currency is concerned. So all of these contributions have been respected by the Prime Minister. When he went there, he has met people from Indian diaspora, important people who are living in Egypt, and with these signing up of memorandum of understanding in the defense sector, agriculture sector, we are talking about trade, we are talking about imports and export, we are talking about ease of travel between these two countries. It is going to significantly impact not only the Indians who are living in Egypt, but people who want to go and do business in the country, or vice versa, the Egyptians living in India or the people from Egypt who want to come to India for business and other trade purposes. So it has been a victory for both the countries as far as the visit is concerned, and it has been symbolic in several senses because Egypt, which was a traditional ally of India from the very beginning of our country, as far as after independence era is concerned, now Prime Minister has slowly renewed all of these friendships that were lost in time.